Okay, so this is further practice on repeating and terminating decimals. I might actually go through some exercises here so you can follow along. And I will also attach this document so that you can look at it in print if you'd like, or print it out. So first of all, we're going to go through these just simply identifying that each decimal is terminating or repeating. It should be pretty obvious to you that this bar over here is something you haven't seen before, and this is called a repeat. It means that anything that's under the bar will repeat infinitely. This one has no bar, so it's terminating. It can be expressed as a, I'm just going to write term instead of terminating. It can be expressed as a decimal fraction with a denominator of 10. This reads as 2 5/10. This one can also be read that way, 9 0/10, also known as 9. It is terminating. If it can be expressed as a fraction with a denominator of 10 or 100 or 1,000 or 10,000, then it's terminating. If it can't, then it's repeating, and you have to use this little bar. So this has a bar, that means it's going to repeat, and this one has no bar. This can be read as 0 37/100ths. So if you can read it as a fraction with a denominator of 10 or 100 or 1,000 or 10,000, so on, it's terminating. This repeats, rep. This terminates. 3 125 thousandths. This is 2 152 thousandths, but not really. It's more than that. So it cannot be expressed that way. It's repeating. Now we're going to match each fraction here with the corresponding decimal. I've got 5/9. This is not 5/10. If it were 5/10, I'd go right to here, to 0.5. But it is, there's a pattern that we notice, and you can use a calculator to figure this out. There's a tip here in a second that tells you any fraction is just a division problem. Divide the numerator, 5, divided by the denominator, 9, and you get 0.55555. It rounds at the end there because it can't display anymore, but it says 0.5 repeating. So we have to find that over here. It goes right there. Okay. This one, 16/99. We can use the patterns that we learned yesterday, or we can actually use our calculator. 16 divided by 99, 0.16161616. Okay, so that would be this one, 0.16. Whoops, incorrect. Didn't look closely enough. That would be this one, 0.16. The bar goes over both numbers, and that's really important. Let's look at our calculator again. Had I selected the other one, 0.16, it would be the bar just over the 6. This is both numbers repeating. Okay, and the next one, 1/6. This one we may want to use our calculator for again. 1 divided by 6 equals 0.166666. So that one is the one that goes here, right there. The last one, 5/10, we don't need a calculator for. 0.5, 5/10. Okay, so this is repeating, this is repeating, this is terminating, this is repeating. Here's that tip that I talked about. Divide the numerator by the denominator to change a fraction to a decimal. It's simple. You can use a calculator if you'd like. Okay, here's a table that I'm going to use to convert between different formats. A fraction in simplest form, fraction with denominator of 10, 100, or 1,000, or a decimal. So what we do is just go by column, column by column by column by column by column. Okay, and in the first column we have a clue, 6/10, 6/10. We can write that as a decimal if you know your place value. No problem, 0.6. Now turn it into a fraction in simplest form. This is called reducing. We just simply have to reduce this. And to reduce it, we're going to divide it, both the numerator and denominator, by the greatest common factor, the largest number I can divide into both. And that, in this case, is 2. So if I divide the top by 2, I get 3. And the bottom by 2, I get 5. Okay, so 6/10 in its simplest form is 3/5. We're going to do more in the next video.